I'll travel now from this point to more deeper layer of case. A case which has really opened my eye in study of this model. The case is having, I've labeled it, is called volcano within. Many of us have experienced such type of cases. Some of you might have seen my presentation. I have presented in one of the webinar. I'm presenting different aspect of study. Understanding genesis of violent outbursts. Through this case, we'll try to understand that. Discussing importance of evolutionary history in understanding current state. Understanding mind-body as one of the continuum. And understanding how body, mind, and society helps in sustaining stresses of life. And if resources are tempered by various surgical suppression, various oppressive conduct in the society, then you will see full-fledged what Hahnemann talks in aphorism number 215, that how these corporeal symptoms takes case to one-sidedness. Case was taken 27 years back. This patient, fortunately, is in touch with me because of her family and various reasons, directly or indirectly. So I have a long story to tell you, but I'll make it very, very short and make it more crisp to understand my learning from this patient. Patients are our best teacher, and our real teacher who has given us guidelines like Hahnemann, Dr. Emil Davde, Kent, Boger, Boninghusen. Please follow them. They will give us guidelines how to learn from patient. A married woman in her 40s was brought by her husband requesting assistance to aid her to come out of her mania. Husband was very perturbed, and he said that his marriage is in doldrum. Everything started with a normal marriage, but now they are going through various problems because of her psychiatric situation. Since few weeks, she has turned very, very aggressive. Her behavior toward her husband was very, very disruptive. She's abrupt, harsh in her behavior, and becomes very abusive. All my red lines are very important. If you are with note and pen, please note down. Whenever you are studying, please simultaneously keep notes. Hahnemann says in 84 aphorism, it is very, very important that whatever you are studying faithfully, please note down. So this red line, I'll tell you how important they are. She turns restless at night, moves aggressively in room, only that calms her. Husband says वो ऐसे धम धम चलती है तो ही उस शांत रहती है, और मैंने जब भी रोकने की कोशिश की, whenever I try to stop her, she becomes extremely aggressive. Keep this in mind. And if he tried to approach her to calm her down, she hits him. She doesn't like him to touch him at all at that time. She turned indifferent to her daughter. She becomes harsh with her 9-year-old daughter and sometimes beats her for smallest reason. Recently, husband said she has turned suspicious about him. And she's all the time saying that you have some affair, you have some involvement. And she becomes very aggressive and violent, specifically talking about her suspicion. And to the point, she starts beating husband. And after this, there is a calm takes place after violent outburst. And then she feels guilty. She feels very sorry. And then she feels very low in her mood, and she gets suicidal ideation. Not worth living. As a homeopath, we are prepared to receive this challenge. Can we do anything for this? What will give us confidence to take this challenge? This is very important. Confidence comes from certain background, certain experience, certain knowledge. So attending such webinar, seminar also add to your knowledge grid. My experience becomes your experience if you are keenly involved and you are also asking this question. I have decided to receive this case in detail. Had a talk with husband, then I'm talking to her, and the information is we have to find out what is she suffering from, why has she ended into this state, what is the scope and limitation of homeopathy and homeopath, and how to inquire. The case summary is like that. She belongs to a backward class and witnessed very abusive alcoholic father, again red line, capital, who frequently ill-treated her mother. What she's observing, ill treatment given to mother by her abusive father. She's the only child. Mind well, she's the only child. And father loved him a lot. But what is she witnessing is aggression and violence. Mother was a pillar of strength, but she also suffered from frequent mood variations, obviously due to these family circumstances. And her maternal grandmother had a history of psychiatric illness. So the lineage of history dates back to grandmother, maternal grandmother, who also had a depressive spells. Mother also goes through mood variation. And in spite of all this environment, in spite of this genetic background, she was doing exceptionally well in school, up to college level. She loved her father, but she hated him because of his drinking. And a small, tiny girl, she used to force her father by doing fasting. Remember what I'm saying, that how rebel she was? She said that if you come drinking home, I'll not eat food. And this is how she succeeded in saying that my father left alcohol because of my such strong protest. See the seeds of a leadership, power to change others in her. Deep within, she turned very rebellious and sensitive to rejection. She couldn't tolerate father rejecting mother. And this sensitive to rejection has extended. Remember, she comes from a background which was a backward class, and she wanted to abolish this caste system because of which she was suffering. And she started fighting for underprivilege as she grew up as a young girl, from adolescent to young girl, and started going in college. And she married to revolutionary Brahmin man. There was a group which believed in abolishing caste system, and one of the boy was a Brahmin who was suffering from leukodharma. Mother-in-law discriminated, and she experienced pangs of untouchability very much in the same family. This is the tragic part she gone through. Boy who is showing sign of rebel to get married to someone who is untouchable. On another side, if you try to see boy also suffering from an illness, where a lot of people feel that they are also been rejected because of their illness. So in a way, there was an equilibrium of their selecting each other at that level. But this was their marriage. It was not a marriage which was of two families. So mother-in-law was a very, very strong Brahmin, believed in untouchability, and the rebel started. Will she be able to react like she reacted at home? No. After marriage, most of the female tries to see that if they can win over their mother-in-law, their family circumstances, the struggle goes on. This initial phase was very, very anxiety and insecurity prone. If you try to study what happens in these circumstances, And husband was passive. She's fighting her battle all alone within herself. She couldn't rebel against mother-in-law, obviously outwardly. And husband also couldn't support her at that time. She felt very, very alone. She felt very depressed at that point in her mood. It was not a clinical. But what happened was she developed hyperthyroidism. Consequent to this entire experience of anxiety, insecurity, and repressed aggression, she has developed hyperthyroidism with palpitation, all typical classical symptoms. Friends, this is a story she is telling us. Story in evolution. We have studied this child who was extremely sorry. She has fought her battle all alone. Then she goes into a suppressive mode. More of a psychotic expression started coming out in form of various disturbances in mood. Now you see tubercular feature with loss of weight, hyperthyroidism, and tremendous agitation. And she had to undergo surgery, lobectomy, followed by hormonal treatment. After all this drama, husband felt that this is leading to nowhere, and he decided to part away. He changed the whole state, went into UP, started staying in UP. Both of them were happy to some extent, and she had made a condition that she is not going to meet them again. This was a very strong decision, but this was not a resolved decision. So she went on saying that she became very possessive about him. And over a period of time, they had a daughter. Life was apparently normal and a balance. She started working for fighting for women and caste system in UP. But another episode started coming up. Now, friends, carefully study. This is a long case. I'm making it short. She was a rebel. She started joining an organization and leading organization with who are being female, who are being humiliated, going against the caste system in UP. And you know what? She has witnessed very bad brutality, humiliation from police force. All female who were being agitating, they have brutally treated them. Some of their clothes were torn, and she has seen this as a humiliation. First episode of depression started that she is helpless and she can't help anyone. The second episode of depression was very, very minor reason in that reference. She found that her husband is meeting his sister and signing some document. And it was true. Husband was meeting his family member, but not obviously to wife's understanding. So he secretly was meeting, and she became very agitated, and she started feeling my husband is not with me. And this was a second episode within just 2 years' time after this one. And then now third thing, she became suspicious about husband having some affair. He's talking to someone. And husband also was under treatment, and he said that, doctor, trust me, I have nothing like this. If you believe her, then this has started happening at mind level already. The disturbance has started. So friends, it's very important to understand. Initially, the stress was so high, and her reaction that she could sustain it better in a soric state. Then the breakdown takes place at the tubercular level. Then there is a surgical suppression. Then she goes into massive depression. And now you see what the travel is taking place is in terms of a suspicion, aggression, violence. She's traveling toward the syphilitic miasm. As she's traveling in this direction, now there is a very little stress. Now there is imaginary stress. What was a real, actual, brutal stress has turned into now a micro imaginary stress The event started happening inside her mind and not outside her. And this is where the psychiatry is setting in. She developed brooding, weeping, low mood, and suicidal ideation, and sometimes homicidal. She wanted to kill her daughter, kill her husband. One side there is possession, another side there is a tremendous indifference, and then there is a guilt with anxiety and restlessness. And this is the case which comes to us. You see how many factors which we have studied, how many forces were responsible. As I told you about vulnerability factors, biological level, psychological level, social level, all the aspects are covered in this case. And what is a core conflict? What are the relationship amongst mind, body, and socio-cultural influence? You see that everything is one. If social disturbance affecting the psychology and biology, biological difference affecting your socio-cultural relationship, and what is the state of sensitivity and susceptibility? Is she reversible or irreversible? Kant says they become one-sided over a period of time. We have very little time to help her. So this is the travel, which I already discussed with you. That her life space travel on one side, the miasm travel on another side, and the stress pattern. Earlier there was a brutal stress which has gone into a micro stress. So maximum stress, minimum impact, and minimum stress, maximum impact. And that's the state of unhealthy state of mind. So this is exactly the insight. The acute mental illness is a flare-up of a repressed internal dynamics of sensitivity and susceptibility. We call it vulnerability in another language. Evolutionary history from man in health to man in disease is critically important. Pre-morbid state and morbidity dimension is very, very important for any psychological case. I will not put it any psychology, any condition. Man who is changed his temperament, man has gone under change in his various forces. It is important to understand pre-morbid state. Family history, life space event, and various behavioral, clinical, miasmatic expressions are important in a constitutional totality. This is what I wanted to demonstrate. Where do you lead to? Now coming back to the case, as I said, you repertorize all this abrupt, harsh, rough, cruelty, aversion to her own children, aversion to being touched, fear of suffocation, sadness, but very critically important, she's better in open air. She's very important thing which will distinguish various remedy. You obviously think sometime platina, sepia, and some type of kali, but this is a restlessness is key which helped me. Amelioration, moving and pacing around. Agitation increased as she is forced to calm down. Friends, this has helped me to cleanse the prescription for this current acute outburst and current state of mind. Kali iode. If you go through this repertorization, you see Kali iode emerging very critically at top. If you go to Materia Medica, you see what is written: half made all the night, talkative, full of joke, sadness. And very interesting aspect is their family. They are extremely attached to their family. On another side, but suddenly they will have outburst. Here it is very important. Though a very tender father, his children were trouble to him. They are very supportive, reliable, lot they do for their family. But in extreme situation, colored person can get very irritable, angry, abrupt, harsh, abusive, violent. The irritability is directed mainly toward their children or a family member, I'll extend. And they can be quite cruel to their family. This is in Kali Ayod, in their acute outburst state. So she received Kali Ayod from 200 SOS to 1M as a phasic. She started showing substantial improvement with this Kali Ayod. As time progressed, she responded, all these symptoms have gone. But what was not going was relationship between husband and wife was not improving to its best. It had gone to a major damage, which was very difficult to control. As I told you, this case are very difficult to counsel. They had fixed certain views and ideas, and she herself was a very rebel. So though she was calm, in calm mind, she used to feel that, doctor, I have to take my actions of life and I want to live my life all alone. Definitely she waited for a child to get more better and better. So this acute stage, which Henneman talks about 221, is a eruption of latent sora. Let it, the flame comes out. A right homeopathic remedy has to be prescribed. In this case, we have used Kali Ayod. Once that flame was much settled, better, calmer, the whole case was understood from evolutionary perspective again. And you see that sensitivity to rejection, repressed hostility, aggression, and all these factors which we put together, which I discussed with you, has helped me to clinch ultimately Magmur for her. Magmur 200 to 1M was used extensively after Kali Ayod phase was over. That there was no major eruption later on of this Kali Ayod phase, and she relatively was better off. After some time, she decides to stay alone without taking major divorce and other stand, and she followed her life on her independence. She's on and off in touch. She's much, much better. She has thanked profusely. She has done her PhD and Vedic studies further ahead in sociology. Thank you very much to listening to me. I'm sure there will be a lot of question in your mind. There is limitation of interactions today, but I will welcome. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me on drpatelmanoj@gmail.com. drpatelmanoj@gmail.com. Thank you very much, Dr. Keyur, for helping me for this presentation. Thank you to my team of doctors, at our PG Institute. Thank you very much.